Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. The set has dropped today. There's so many cards to talk about. I've already started working on everything. We are going straight into the set reviews. This one's came in a little late because we did have to pretty much stop production on the last part of the spoilers video. There was literally going to be a spoilers video due today, but instead I realized, like, when I was about to record and publish everything, the set dropped. So I'm like, okay, we can scrap that. And then we had to, reuse, rework on all these like images and all the stuff to talk about. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the way I do set reviews, I only grabbed about 12 cards from the Earth stuff. I'm not going to review every card because they're not all good, and I'm not going to waste your time and mine reading those. And so I think it's important that I just grabbed the 12. And this, for some of them, there might be 15, but for Earth is particular, I grabbed the 12 most important cards, the cards you might actually see in the meta, you might actually see play, and the ones that would like move into, a deck somewhere, right? And that's the way I'll do it. Since today's Earth, Monday on Earth, when you probably watch this, it might be not Monday, but still, I'll be doing a video a day for the whole set until we cover the whole set. And then, yeah, we're going to start deck building right away, guys. So get excited. There's going to be tons of deck profiles coming up in the couple of weeks. And with that being said, I am going to start the set review so this video doesn't take long. All right, first one's up. I did bring back a couple of them, as you'll see here, like Wool. We already talked about in the spoilers, but this card is too good for me not to talk about it again. Yeah, and just again, if you remember, I was pretty blown away from the effect. When he enters the field, you may play a Mobius forward from your hand onto the field. Doesn't matter the cost, color, or anything. All that you do is it has to be Mobius. So lots of potential. Mobius cards are always coming and going. There was a Mobius deck for a little while, so this is gonna fit in right there. There is a world in a Warrior of Light deck too where I can see this guy, being able to play him at reduced cost or something like that, and then bringing in more value for that, right? And then at 3 damage, he gets 1000 power Brave, and Wool cannot be broken by opposing summons or abilities that don't deal damage. Solid card. Overall, definitely going to see play, if not for just his bringing a category Mobius forward onto the field effect. If nothing else, then just for that. Next is Carbuncle. There's not a lot of summons in the set, really. I think every color only got one. So I had to talk about this one. It's not bad, actually. So 1 drop, it's a 1 CP EX burst. All forwards you control gain 2000 power until the end of the turn. If all the backups you control have Earth element, draw 1 card. So, even at turn, this card is good at any point in the game, right? Especially if you're playing an Earth deck, like a mono Earth deck, Monks, for example, or anything like that. We'll talk about it more, too, because there's going to be a lot of... I think this set is bringing a couple of things to this game. Is going to be monocolor decks are back, as well as... monocolor decks, and I'm blanking here, and the primals, right? But it's going to be insane. So, like, what I was saying is that this card at any point in the game is going to be good, right? Because at turn 2, you can, like, if you have a forward and 2 backups, and they're both Earth, then you're going to get the plus 2k power no matter what, and you're drawing a card. So it's going to net you more CP. You're paying 1 to get a card which can be valued at 2 CP. So as long as you're playing mono Earth, you're going to be fine. And this card is just, it's never going to be bad, I don't think, anyway. It would have to be a mono Earth deck for it to work all the time, for it not to be bad. But, again, you should be fine. A new Monk, which I wasn't expecting, honestly. Like, the deck is already strong, but like I was saying, this set is bringing in a lot of things. But I didn't expect Monks, and I honestly don't. I might see a world where Monks might not even make it to the top tables, like, in my mind, right? Like in the meta. So when Monk enters the field, choose a drop Monk forward or card named Monk forward you control, and 1 forward your opponent controls. Each forward deals damage equal to its power to the other. So it's a 3-drop Monk that just makes 2 things fight. After that, you can have Ursula send it and deal more damage or buff it, right? And if the other things are Monks and Ursula's on the board, and when you make them fight, if your opponent loses, you can always respond, cancel it, and move it out to pump Ursula, and then shoot this guy to to kill the thing that should have died anyway, still on the stack before the thing's resolved. It's another monk with it's another cheap monk, right? Multiples. You can have multiples of this on the board, but yeah, it's just it opens up the deck to more shenanigans, really. Next one. Now we have Kobold, Hojo, and Dark Elf. These are a couple of them. We saw Hojo, and I didn't get a chance to cover it, so I brought it on here. And then Kobold and Dark Elf are new. So when Earth Job Primal enters the field, activate Kobold. You can tap to choose a forward. It gains 1,000 power until the end of the turn. You can only use this ability if you control Job Primal. The reason I brought it on, we didn't see it, and it is going to be used. The Earth Primal deck, I think all the Primal decks are going to be used, so this guy definitely is going to be seen. Hojo, when Hojo enters the field, choose a forward you control, remove it from the game. When you do so, choose a forward in your break zone with the cost inferior to that of the removed forward and play it onto the field. So you're pretty much sending stuff out to, bring stuff, weaker stuff in, but like it really just depends on the enter abilities and if it leaves the field abilities. I think there's a world too where you're playing Pod Cloud and you're spinning up, and then before something dies, or once something has used its usefulness, you can send it back, right? Like with Hojo, like you'll play Hojo into, I don't know, let's say you punch up to, you bring out a Tifa, right? Or the Barret, and then after it attacks, it might die this turn, you can remove it yourself or something, and then that'll open up another play to, going backwards and stuff. So the deck's going to be like recycling forwards a lot. So I see Hojo being used in that way. Dark Elf. If Dark Elf is dealt 9,000 damage or more, the damage becomes 0 instead. So that's it's really interesting. So as long as he, it doesn't say if it's higher than him, it's just 9,000 or more. That means he's not going to die to, what's his name? Philia. So he's going to be a good counter for Earth to survive Philia. Other than just pumping Ursula up big enough so she can live. I don't actually know how much else play he's going to see, really. He might be like a tech card for stuff like that. The Dark Elf the job and the category don't really work for me in any other aspect. Neither does the cost. He's a 4/8. He's pretty basic, with the exception of his survivability in that realm where we're just dealing 9k to the board to everything. So he's cool, though. He looks cool. The art is enjoyable, so that's good too. Next is Shantoto, Chichu, and Noctis. Now this Shantoto is really good. I love it. If Shantoto's on the field, Shantoto can produce win CP. Why it's only win CP, I don't know. But if you guys know why, leave it in the comments for me. When Shantoto enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck and add up to 1 wind and up to 1 earth card among them to your hand, and return the others to the bottom of the deck. So this is effectively 1 CP. But not only that, it will generate 2 things, and it scries 5. It's going to be insane. Now, how often are we going to replace this with the other Shantoto? I can think of a few instances, right? Because some people are already playing multicolor decks, and they're subbing Shantoto for Philia. And in the L6 format, you're not going to have the old Shantoto. Or not everyone will, right? Because I forget, actually, if you can play the reprinted full art one. I don't remember, but point is, the name Shantoto is going to still be useful. It's going to be available to you in L6, and this card opens up a lot of possibilities, right? It's going to help you get all those wind earth pieces that you're looking for in a crazy deck. And wind earth is already strong on its own. It has a lot of options, and this is going to make it easier for it to get to those options. Chichu. Now I guess this one, by the way, if you guys remember, it's like all the other ones. One of the mechanics. I guess that's the other thing I want to talk about. It looks like this set we get 2 monsters for each color, I think, or some colors got 2. But Chichu here is gonna gain tokens at the end of the turn, and then you can send Chichu to the break zone, and then give someone 2,000 power for each monster counter placed on Chichu. So we called it because everything else was doing what their respective colors do. It was safe to say what Chichu was going to do. Now Noctis is a 4-drop backup. You can put Noctis into the break zone, choose a category 15 forward of cost 5 or less in your break zone. Play it onto the field. You can only use this ability during your turn. This seems okay to me. I just don't see the practicality of it just yet. The biggest thing to do would be to maybe bring in the Regis or bring in an Aranea. But the problem is you can only do it on your turn, right? So like, yeah, it's really just for the Regis, if you ask me, because like I can't think of anything else to do. I think maybe in the future if there's a Lunafreya. The problem is the 15, right? We're limited to 15 cards. All the 15 cards, the names just keep repeating over and over again. Like we only have one Ingus, I think, right? And then after that, it's all like copies of Noctis, copies of Regis, and Rivas and Lunafreya, and like it's just like there's not a lot of characters in that game that we get. If they do release more, this card is gonna grow with the deck exponentially, I think. But as of right now, it's just Reborn Regis. Get Regis to reborn more stuff. Like I get that. Now, is it gonna see play? Yes, because Regis already sees a lot of play, and if I have a faster way to get to that by just breaking it back up, then yes. Would I personally play it over the 3-drop that give the multicolor one that gives everything 2k in haste? Probably not. Or there's already a 2-drop backup, right, that lets me do stuff. So I don't know. It's gonna be he is searchable, right? He's 4-drop Prince, and then we already have I think Sarah gets Prince, Princess, King, right, or all of those things. So he's gonna see play. I don't see it just yet. Now, we have legendaries and Mont as a hero. I'm glad they didn't reveal this any sooner, but it definitely would have been like a really cool card of the week. Like if I would have had a choice to reveal a card, it would have been this one. The cost required to cast Mont Leonis is reduced by 1 for each Earth character you control. He's 11 cost, by the way. He is a Prince and FFBE, so searchable on 2 accounts. And just 11 is such a weird thing, but when Mont Leonis enters the field, choose an Earth forward of cost 6 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field. And now you know why he's 7. He's 11. And when Mont Leonis is put from the field into break zone during this turn, the next damage dealt to you becomes 0 instead. I can't even what? So this is pretty strong. He's got a lot of effects. It almost felt like he should be a legendary, but whatever. I guess his cost is how they supplemented for his rarity. But a lot of good things are happening here, right? So obviously, as the game goes on and you're able to build a board, even with 5 backups already, Earth, and maybe or 4 and 1 forward, right? Well, that's the usual. He's at 6. So for 6, he's gonna bring in a 6 for free, an Earth forward of 6 or less, for free. And then when he dies, your opponent will no longer be able to deal damage, or the next damage is dealt to you becomes 0. So we've all seen those plays. I can't remember the Dark 7, but the one you kill all your opponent's forwards and then you don't take any damage. So if there's a turn where you're holding on to that in your hand and he dies first, and then your opponent tries to continue to swing for game, you're gonna be able to cast that. And then the damage becomes 0, I think. I think it reads the same, but because I think it gives them to you all at once, or it counts as one package, so it'll become 0. And yeah, he's going to be such a good card. I definitely think he's going to see a lot of play. Like I said, if just like the wool that we talked about earlier, if nothing else, for his bring in a 6-drop or less. But I do think there's a lot of potential with this card. Now, we have the Earth Primal Titan, Lord of Crags. When Titan Lord of Crags enters the field, break all forwards with power less than Titan. So he's going to pretty much destroy everything that's 9 or less, 9k or less, right? If you have, any bonuses, when this triggers too, you can respond and buff him for anything with the Carbuncle, with anything really, and it'll just be a wider net, right? Yeah, the real problem is that he is, it's all forwards, right? So yours included, obviously. But then again, if you're playing something like Carbuncle, you're going to be able to buff all your forwards at that same point, and if anything makes it till 11, then, you're fine, right? But I think he will be played like Ophelia, I think he's gonna. I'm not saying he's gonna replace Shantoto, but this is kind of where I see things, right? Like, we have a new Shantoto to help you search things, but we also have Titan that helps you like clear the board faster. It doesn't remove from play, but you know, it's still pretty good, right? neither does Philia, but people play that too. So when 5 or more forwards are put from the field into the break zone by this effect, Titan Lord of Crags deals your opponent 1 point of damage. This is like a crazy like. I'm sure it's gonna happen where someone's at 6 damage and they're like gonna win next turn, but I'm gonna play Crag and all your forwards are gonna go. I'm gonna play Titan and I'm gonna win, right? Just because I'm able to get this effect off. And then like even if I send some of my own forwards, I don't care, right? As long as I'm able to get that last point of damage off. So it's a very strong card. Going with Kobold, like the backup that he has, he's going to be able to buff him to 1k by 1k all the time, so it's going to be 10 all the time and activate that backup. So yeah, it's going to be a good card. This is what I was talking about, right? Like the game is going to come back to mono because you want to have access to cards like the Carbuncle, the Kobold, and that Shantoto, and so you can play the Titan. He's very good. We'll definitely 100% see play. And we talked about Cloud already. He's got a lot of effects, but if your opponent controls any forwards, Cloud gains 2,000 power, puts him at 10k. When Cloud attacks, choose a forward. It gains, if possible, this forward must block until the end of turn. And you can discard a Cat 7 character until the end of turn. He gains 1,000 power and cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities. Super strong and safe card. 7 deck is always, has a lot of ways to reduce cost in him and to make, him more valuable and stuff like that. So we'll probably replace Pod Cloud for a little bit. He's just a strong card, and forcing things to block is always great when your opponent is holding on to pieces or waiting for things or when they're setting up. I don't know, things like Shikari. You can force. I don't know if you would force Ursula to block, but you could. But he has protection from Ursula as well. It's a really good card. He's going to be strong. He's going to be played. You got to watch out for him. That's going to wrap up the Earth review, guys. Please stay tuned for the rest of the week. We're going to be doing one color per day, and then start rolling out all the deck profiles. If there's any deck you want to see me start prioritizing, leave it in the comments, and I will start jotting them all down and see where I go from there. I had a deck profile in store for Opus 13, but the set's out already. I'm not even going to bother. But we will stay on top of all the Opus 14 stuff. So thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of all the Earth cards. Leave them in the comments below. And I'll talk to you guys later.